They're coded bias in these algorithms.
These machine learning systems in this bigger is better paradigm, which we've been in since 2012, relies on data collected and created about our present and our past. This data in the context of text generation comes from things like 4chan, Reddit, YouTube comments, Wikipedia. And of course, that data reflects our scarred past and present, which is discriminatory, which has been and is racist and misogynist, which sees different people as deserving different treatment. And so, of course, that data is going to be reflected in the outputs of this system. And now the danger here is that we buy the hype and that we say this is the product of a sentient and intelligent machine that is giving us objective truth. And that is just where that person fits in society. They have the genes of a janitor, right?
When you get to bigger models that are trained on more data, those racial biases and those stereotypes get worse. You get more of them. And here you can sort of see that we're losing the race in underinvesting in how do we tackle and mitigate and understand those socio-technical impacts of these technologies, because we're just scaling them too fast, right? We're not catching up with the problems that we know exist.
More of the problem doesn't solve the problem. I never understood the basis for an assertion that, like, well, you know, we have a little bit of trash and that makes a trashy model, but let's pour a bunch more trash on there.
Oh,
because that's going to clean it up, right? There's a, magical thinking, and I think a real, like, almost emotional desire by a lot of the true believers to avoid the fact that maybe some of these problems are intractable. Maybe we can't sort of, create a data set that's unbiased because, of course, data is always reflecting the perspective of its creators, and that is always biased, right?
How do we change this paradigm? How do we make sure that the people who also work on making technology safer, more fair, more responsible, their efforts can also be accelerated and their voice can be centered in the way we talk about AI?
I mean, I don't think that's a technical problem, right? That is a problem of the incentives that are driving the tech industry, which are not social benefit, right? You and I know we got in the way of these people a lot. It was not always appreciated. And I always loved your willingness to ask those questions anyway. But I was pushed out of Google for asking these questions, right? For loudly asking these questions, for organizing around these questions, right? So there is a point at which, when you're talking billions of dollars versus a livable future, we have a system that is choosing billions of dollars repeatedly. And in the context of a system that is now giving this kind of authority, surveillance, and social control capabilities to a handful of actors, I think that's an alarm worth raising pretty broadly.
Can regulation and governments play a role in reestablishing a little bit of balance in that system?
Yeah, of course, if they're willing, right? Labor organizing can help that. Social movements can help that. Regulation can help that. But, regulation is an empty signifier till we fill it with specifics.